What's the better stock to buy, Tesla versus Palantir? I'm going to answer that question looking at 5 different metrics in this video. So let's get right into it, starting with revenue growth. And looking at this metric, we see that Tesla has a clear advantage over Palantir. They're both trending downward in terms of revenue growth, but Tesla is consistently ahead of Palantir in terms of revenue growth here. So the advantage of revenue growth goes to Tesla. The next metric I wanted to look at is operating profit margin for the trailing 12 months comparing the two companies. And Tesla has done an excellent job increasing its operating margin from in the negative 20% range before 2019 to positive 17% most recently in the trailing 12 months. Palantir is on a similarly positive trajectory, although it hasn't yet achieved positive operating margins and it hasn't yet achieved what Tesla has achieved in terms of operating profitability. But you could see a very nice trajectory here for Palantir. If it can continue on this trend, it could reach and surpass Tesla. However, it hasn't reached it yet. It hasn't proven that yet. And as an investor, I tend to give credit to companies that have proven the capability rather than the company that has the potential. And so in this regard, I'm going to give Tesla the advantage in terms of operating profit margin. So 2 for 2 so far for Tesla. The next metric I want to look at is cash flow from operations in the trailing 12 months. And first, starting with Tesla, we see it went from negative operating cash flow in the trailing 12 months before 2019. And we see very nice growth over the years until it reached $14.7 billion in trailing 12-month cash flow from operations. Very impressive growth here for Tesla. Again, Palantir showing excellent progress here, going from negative 300 million in cash flow from operations in the trailing 12 months in 2021, and over the past several quarters improving that trend, and now hitting several quarters of consecutive TTM cash flow from operations in the positive line, but the trend has stopped increasing and has kind of flatlined and is trending downward. Still impressive growth here. 238 million in cash flow from operations just goes to highlight the difference in scale of these two companies. Tesla is a much larger company. This is closer because Palantir has shown tremendous growth from negative 200 million to positive 200 million TTM in a little over a year. However, again, I'm going to give the advantage to Tesla because a longer history of proven increases in cash flow from operations, going from relatively flat to slightly negative all the way up to 14.7 billion. Truly impressive advantage again to Tesla. The next metric I wanted to look at is average diluted shares outstanding. I want to see how these companies are diluting shareholders, how much they are diluting shareholders. Starting with Tesla, going from about 3 billion shares outstanding to about 3.5 billion shares outstanding over the last 2.5 years or so. So they've added about 500 million shares to their 3 billion shares, a little less than 20% shareholder dilution over the last couple of years. And then let's look at Palantir Technologies average diluted shares outstanding. They've gone from a little over 800 million shares to over 2.05 billion, 2.07 billion shares outstanding. So they've added 1.2 billion shares from the a little over 800 million shares. So they've more than doubled their share count in the last couple of years. And so that is way more dilution than Tesla, and that can explain how they were able to improve their cash flow from operations while not delivering positive operating income and operating profit margin. So huge advantage here to Tesla. So 4 out of 4 so far Tesla advantage in terms of the critical financial metrics in comparison here. Finally, let's look at valuation. I chose to use the price to sales ratio because Palantir has not been consistently profitable. Also not consistently delivering positive free cash flow until recent quarters, so not enough history there. So I chose to use the forward price to sales ratio. And looking at this metric, Palantir is trading at a price to sales of 7.367, a little bit more expensive than Tesla, trading at a 5.9 price to sales forward ratio. And so given all of the metrics that we compared the two on, and given that Tesla was beating Palantir in each of those four metrics, some of them were close, but some of them Tesla was way ahead. And given that Tesla is less expensive than Palantir according to this metric, I'm going to say Tesla is the better stock to buy between these two. All right, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Tesla. I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.